Been thinking about Jesus. Jesus always seems to be on my mind. I'm quite fond of him because I know he's fond of me, and he shows me like no other the way of life, the way of truth and life and the way to live. And on this cold and blustery day, I'm thankful. And it all comes back to thankfulness for me. One of the keys of the Christian life. I'm thinking of those passages about the cross and about crucifixion and about Lent, the season of Lent, and then coming into Easter. And I want some practical application for that. And I'm thinking about those verses that cross my mind is Jesus who for the joy set before him endured the cross. And then we have Jesus talking about joy. That my joy may be in you and your joy may be complete. Where he says to his disciples, in this world you'll have trouble, but take heart, be of good cheer. I've overcome. And I just get this sense that as Christians, so many Christians I talk to, we live in the sense of the Christian life is all about suffering, crucifixion, and death. Is it? That's a part of it, a big part of it, a huge part of it. But is that it? Crucifixion and death? Or resurrection and life? Or a balance between the both? Or an emphasis on one more than the other? We're Easter people. We're resurrection life people. And does that make any practical difference in our life? So there's this thing in communion. It's called the Lord's Supper. It's called communion. But it's called the Eucharist. What does that mean? Thanksgiving. The great Thanksgiving, where we rehearse the story of God and thankfulness for God and all that God has done for us and God's love, God's care, God's understanding, God's presence with us in this life. I think life has a cruciform shape to it, and we have a lot of trouble, and we experience suffering and crucifixion and death and cross and all that. That's the vertical dimension in some sense. I'm getting way too deep here and theological for myself even. But there's a horizontal dimension to life that is the answer to life. And that's where we're anchored and have a foundation in a God of love and in whom we live and move and have our being. And there is profound, incredible gratefulness, thanksgiving, and joy. So let's get to the practical application. To live in gratefulness. To live a Eucharistic life. A life of thanksgiving. That's our act of worship. How do we do that? By going to church? Fine, that can all be good and fine, but we live a life of thanksgiving. That's a Eucharistic life. Knowing who God is, knowing who we are, knowing how life works, knowing we're okay, and all shall be well. So to live in constant gratefulness, that's the invitation. So I heard a story of a man who I admire, a teacher. And every cup of tea he would have, he would say, that's the best cup of tea I've ever had. Every meal, that's the greatest meal, the best meal. Every sunrise he would see, that's the best sunrise. Every sunset, that's the best. And I'm thinking for myself, I want to live that way. It's hard for us to live at the intensity of figuring life out and having all the answers and doing that. But in each moment, we can start again with a spirit of gratefulness and thanksgiving. That's the best cup of tea. This is the best blustery day. This is the best cloudy day. That's the best cardinal in the tree. To live in thank you. Thank you, thank you. To live Eucharistically. 1,001 things went right today. But for my awareness, that just doesn't see. So again, Jesus, those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, give thanks now. The kingdom of God is here now, present and within, right here, right now in this moment. So maybe, just maybe, if I lived thanking more, the more in life that would appear for me to be thankful for. Kind of a spiritual law there. But until then, thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the simple, for the sublime. Thank you. This is my way in life through you, a life of thanksgiving for all you are and I am in you, and life itself in this life and beyond. Take what's helpful, if anything. Leave the rest, and until next time, may you live all the days of your life.